All right,
Well,
Mr.
hello.
Alexander. Hello, Mr. Alexander. Are you here?
Hello.
Yes, I'm here. Hello.
All right. Hey, okay. Wow, this is such a great day. First of all, thank you so much for dry leaf. This is right here. Our group is called bdddc right here. We are this club that love movies from my university. And also, this group is also from around the world. As you could see right here, these are people that came from America where they stay up late at night just so that, we could stream at the university. And
Yeah.
there's also from
Just so we
Philippines,
could do
from
the interview.
Malaysia. So before we go to the questions, I would like to say thank you. That's first and for all, and probably like the first question first of all. How are you doing today, Mr. Koberidze?
Well, first of all, guys, thank you. It's an amazing to
Recording
know
in progress.
to know all this, and I mean to know that people who like films gather to watch what I've done. It's a great. I just miscalculated because I saw when it's 3 in Indonesia that it's 6 here, and so that's why I'm a bit late and
Right, right. It's okay. It's
sorry,
all right.
sorry for that. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess we could go ahead, like start these
Sure.
questions. Nabi, do you wanted to ask him, or do you think I should ask him, Nabi?
I think I'm gonna ask Mr.
All right.
Koberidze.
So this one is
Okay.
from Malaysia, part of our club. Go ahead, Nabi.
Yeah. Um, I'm gonna ask you, is there any particular old Hollywood filmmakers that fascinates you? If so, then what's your favorite film by them and why?
From Hollywood.
Yeah, from old Hollywood, like John Ford or Frank Borzage, anybody around that time, Fritz Lang, anybody who like
Uh,
influence you in your work in general?
yeah. A lot for sure. I mean, Hollywood is
Mm-hmm.
such a huge term, you know. I mean, generally, like American cinema. I think since they started to make films there, it was big part of how cinema developed, I think, and what it became. It was a huge inspiration for that. What
Mm-hmm.
happened in US in every term, no? I mean, not only artistically but also technically. We know so many things happened there, but
Mm-hmm.
also so many filmmakers who who showed us what cinema can be in very different ways, starting from a silent cinema and coming through today. So it's really hard to mention one name. I mean, it's like an ocean, and there you have to find the fish. But I mean, I really love like silent films, and I
Uh,
think
okay. Like
it,
Griffiths, D.W. Griffiths.
of course, I mean, but like
Mm-hmm.
also a bit later, maybe all the even like big names, like if you say someone like Buster Keaton, I don't know if we
Mm-hmm.
say it's Hollywood or not, but I think
Mm-hmm.
more no. But if we say like about what is a classical Hollywood and go a bit later, like and
Mm-hmm.
name someone like Kepra or I don't know, like oof,
Mm-hmm.
it's so hard to
Mm-hmm.
to mention one or two or even 10 names. I think it's.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Vincent Minnelli.
Oh, Minelli, I just got into him.
uh,
I'm so excited to get into him.
when I saw first, because I had long time in my life, I thought, for example, I don't like musicals.
Mm-hmm. I get
Then
that.
there was a big retrospective of musicals, and I saw a film called The Pirate
Mm-hmm.
by Vincent Minnelli, which is I didn't know it before, but then I, I I fell in love with this guy, and then I
Mm-hmm.
tried to see everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, always I think Hollywood is a big inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's maybe it has some hard times now,
Mm-hmm.
um, I don't know what your opinion is, but I think it's less than it used to be.
Mm, mm, mm. Thank you.
Right. I guess
But
we could probably continue to the next question. The next question is by Adris. Could
it is,
you
bro.
your mic? Yeah.
Hi, it's an honor to talk to you. I love your film, and my main question is, when I watched your film, I saw important part of the film was your usage of music and how when you capture these Georgian landscapes and everything, the nature that surrounds you, why did you choose these certain choices of music and the way it repeats over and over in the film? How did you want it to resonate with the audience on how music impacts the film?
Thank you, thank you. I think also music is a very important part of this film. And very early, I like before when we were filming, and it was quite a long process. We were filming during 2 years, not all the time, but with breaks. But still, I knew it would take long.
Right,
And I also knew that, like, because my brother who recorded sound on this film and who made sound design, he also created music. So
Mm-hmm.
um, I wanted him to start work on the music before we were done with filming, because normally when I start to edit, I don't know, I like to have already some music to use, because it really helps sometimes with editing. So
right,
for me, it's kind of strange if to edit the film and then start to work with music, which sometimes is the case because the composer also needs some material to work on. No?
right,
So I was trying to find something to give him a sign, like which direction the film would go on, because he was always on when we were filming. He also knew what what we are doing, no? But still, I had this book. Which is kind of important for me, and I thought a lot like it was a good inspiration for me for this film,
okay,
which is Platero and I by Juan Ramon Jimenez,
okay,
and I gave it to him, and I told him just read it. It's not a huge book, and imagine you have to write a soundtrack for this. Um,
wow, okay,
and somehow later I think it really made sense. Because this book is in this book it's a lot about landscapes, about little happenings,
yes,
about animals and so on, about how humans get sad or happy with sunsets or changes of lights and so on. So somehow it was a big help, I think. And but then, like, he was also working parallelly on his album, which was not
mm-hmm.
directly related to this film. Um, but somehow, I think because it was happening in the same time that he was creating this music and we were making the film, this music from this album also became part of the film, and I started to use it. And now maybe like a 60% of the music is from this album from my brother, which had been
Wow,
also
yeah,
released in July.
mm-hmm.
Um, if you're interested, you can find it easily in Bandcamp. I can write to
Sure,
you later.
yes. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for answering. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Koberidze, it feels like, for some reason, since, it was like a bit late, I think I'm gonna start to make a new Zoom meeting for us to get into, so it's like easier. Because on this one, there's like 3 minutes left, surprisingly. I
Ah,
guess
sure.
I'll start the new. All right. We'll definitely go to a new one, all right? I'll definitely send to you right quick. All right.
Cool.
See you on the new. All right. Back again, finally.
Mm.
Right. Wait. Mistake. Right. So, Mr. Koberidze, I would like also to ask. There's this interesting questions because when we watch this, like a lot of people come to us, "Hey, where did you watch this? When will it come out?" So, Mr. Koberidze, with like this amount of people having a huge desire to see this, when do you think will you release this on digital?
Well, it's a hard question for me because it's not really depends on
Mm-hmm.
me. It's a it's a question when the digital platforms get interested in releasing it.
Right.
Um, because we are kind of open for that, I think. I mean, I think it's a film which is complicated to watch on a laptop.
Right.
I don't know. So, of course, I have my doubts, and I prefer a cinema, but I know that not everywhere it's possible to watch films on cinema. Like here in Georgia, s- you can't, in cinemas, they show very few films. So if you want to watch many interesting films, we stream. We stream a lot, and we also pirate a lot. Like I use torrents to watch stuff. Since
Hmm.
my childhood, that's how I saw everything more or less. So uh, I think it's a matter of time. Maybe at some point, some streaming platform will knock on the door and ask for it. And if not, then I think at some point when the premieres and the festivals are over, maybe we just put it somewhere on streaming platform just to be available. Yeah, so we'll see.
Right. Talking about since you previously said that you do pirating, I wonder, do you know about the existence of sites such as Avistas or Cargara?
Yeah,
Yeah,
KG.
Karagaga, I don't use it, but I have few friends who do it. And sometimes when I can't find something myself, then I ask them because it's. But I think it is an amazing thing.
Right,
Uh,
right, right.
yeah.
Okay, this is like also quite a bit correlated to like piracy. What do you personally think of like usually when you see your movies, I was like, oh wow, that's my own movie, but it's like posted in another social media, like someone posted on a tracker. What do you feel when you discover your own film on pirate sites?
When I first saw it, I was very happy because it means people are interested in it. And as I said, like that's how I grew up. That was all my childhood and teenage years. Also now, kind of looking for stuff, and it was almost an honor to see. Okay, I'm there where what I was looking for always. So it's I think it is not so
Good part.
clever somehow to work against that because the whole this piracy thing, it means that people who more or less don't have access to films in a standard way, to go to cinemas and want to see stuff, they find another ways. That's as I said, like in Georgia, that's how it is. That's how majority of people is watching films. And if there was no piracy,
Mhm.
me personally, I would stay. I don't know, maybe completely without films or with just a few films in my life. And because there was the possibility to stream or to download things illegally, I watched everything what I've seen. So uh, I would never go against it because that's how I grew up.
Right. Okay, the next question will be taken from someone who is from Mexico. All right, so let's add him. Kevin, ask up the question.
Hi, thank you so much for being here. I was curious about the phone camera you used for the film. The quality of the picture is like very reminiscent of like the Impressionist movement, and like people have mentioned names like Cézanne and stuff. And I'm curious to know if this is something that you had in mind when looking for this camera, and is there a reason as to why you chose the Sony Ericsson, and like what is it about this older technology that like called out to you?
Well, thank you, first of all. It was the not that I wanted to make a film and then I was looking for a camera and then I found this one, but a bit other way around. Like it was quite a long ago in 2008, when I was just looking for a phone to listen to music. So I went to a shop, and I asked for like for a phone with a good possible menu for to listen to music. And this guy advised me to buy this. It is this like Sony Ericsson, which is like the name of it was Walkman. So it was kind of designed to have a good menu to listen to music and have like more or less a big chip to put music on it, which was back then 2008, like 2 GB was a lot. So that's how I bought it. And then like later I just discovered that okay, it has also a camera, it can make videos, and I just started to try it out. And more or less, this was, I think, in my life really first time that I liked an image which I had made, because before I had a lot of doubts. Like I was not someone who was filming himself, almost never. But this thing I really liked somehow, and I got really obsessed with it, making a lot of pictures, a lot of videos every day with it for years. As I said, like I had it from 2008. And my first feature, which I've made also with this phone, was 2000. It was released in 2017, but I started to film in 2014, which means like for 6 years I had this phone, and I think there was no day when I didn't make pictures and videos with it. So somehow I really it was like an obsession, really, like every day having it all the time with me and making like hundreds of videos and pictures with it somehow, getting really close to this material. So it really became a strong part of my life. And first I made like just a few exercises for my studies, for my school. And then I saw, okay, if you can make a short film with it, maybe you can make also a feature. And then, but I made some tests that just like we had a little cinema in our film school, and I just watched some materials there to know if it was watchable on a big screen, because knowing that I want to make a feature film with it also meant like I want to make pictures for big screen, for cinema halls. And it also kind of worked, I had the feeling. So then I started to make this film, which became also quite a long journey. It took 3 years to make it. And in 2017 it was done, and it was like a circle of almost 10 years with this camera. Then I had a break because then I made my previous film, which was shot on Alexa and on 16mm film. But then again, like a few years ago, I decided to go back to what I love, to these images, which I think have strange beauty in it. And as you said, some people mention like painters, which I think is not meaning that directly that I was thinking about paintings while making it. I think it's just that the painting, the visual arts, have much more big range how they make pictures. They have so many styles. How a painted picture can look. No, it can be completely abstract thing, or it can be pointillism, or it can be, we know, no? So many different things, even like black square or anything, which for cinema is quite still like a far future. Of course, we have many different things in experimental cinema, but it still is considered super experimental, where in painting it became something normal. So I think it's just maybe if we think about the future of the cinema, how it will be also if we get more brave, the cinema will also master all the different ways of showing stuff.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
All right, the next one who will ask a question is actually, he did ask us a question previously, but yeah, this is our Syrian member, Idris. He got another question for you to ask. Go ahead, Idris.
Hey, hi. So there's a lot of history with the technology of, cameras from film to digital cinema. And when people go in to watch your movies in the theater and they realize that you are shooting this on a Sony Ericsson, they would think that the image would be deprived of what we consider as beauty nowadays with 4K cinema, what we call bourgeoisie cinema. So I'm asking you, typically when you shoot these Georgian landscapes, this Sony Ericsson that you would use would typically deprive of this beauty, everything is filtered down to digital pixels and the light and shadow is different. So my main question is your intention of this film with the way you use this camera, trying to reconceptualize the way we typically define the concept of beauty of the image and trying to see things that we can't see with high quality cinema, but instead with this camera, can we see what we can't see?
Yeah, I think like the word. I'm sorry, my dog is here so loud. I try to
That's
avoid,
okay.
but he's stubborn. I like I was telling you about how I found this phone and how I started to make the images, and really like for me the very first impression what I had with this image was that I thought, wow, this is beautiful, without really being able to define back then what this beauty maybe means for me. It was very intuitive, just a thought, and I think that's very
Mm,
often happens with beauty, that we don't necessarily explain it, but we see something or someone and we think, wow, beautiful.
right.
No, and that's how it started. Like it really started with this just first thought of beauty.
Mm,
I don't know. I like some time ago. I was watching an interview, mm, kind of. I think it was more like a masterclass by Rerberg, a cinematographer who shot Tarkovsky's Mirror,
oh, okay.
and he was talking about his concept of beauty, not his concept, but more like where he got inspired. And he said that he read that Leonardo da Vinci
Hmm.
described beauty as a battle between darkness and light.
Yeah.
And and he said that for him it was big inspiration, and that's what his profession is. And somehow I also then seeing this image, I thought maybe that's also why I like it so much, because this battle you have it like all the time, because of it has such a low quality,
Hmm.
and kind of impossibility to gain enough light to show things. In every image you see but like in real time, this battle, because it tries to make things brighter, but it has not enough power. So it's losing and winning all the time. And for me, it's especially if you're panning between different places, or even if it's just a steady image, the light is constantly changing. And I think it's for our brain, for our eyes, it's something exciting.
Yes.
And it's complete opposite of what a super last model of a camera today
Exactly.
means, which has the possibility to have all the light which is there, which there is almost no battle anymore. Where I think the light is just winning, not the light, but like the brightness, let's say. Because you can have it as much as you want, and there will be no problem with it. And with no problems and with no battle, somehow I think the beauty also is vanishing. I don't mean that with these cameras you can't create beautiful images. Yeah, but it's different kind of work. And I think this camera is somehow integrated already into the image.
Got it. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Okay, I guess we could hop on to our next question. Our next question is more so about from one of our members. Sadly, she cannot be here because she had to rest. She came from Lebanon. She asked about, have any directors inspired you to do the work you do now? Who and how? Her name is Sandra, by the way. All right.
Yeah. Well, it is a hard question, because I think art generally and cinema particularly is completely relying on inspirations, because you decide that you want to make a film because you saw a film which you liked. So it's always inspirations, and in different ages the inspirations change. So it's hard to name one or two directors, but I think in my life also there were moments when I was seeing some films and it was changing my way of how I watch films. I don't know, beginning from, I mentioned Tarkovsky, and I think when I was really starting to watch different kinds of cinemas, it was really an important moment in my life to see his films. But later, like to see Blue Velvet by David Lynch, I think it was very important moment. And later to see Eric Romer, which is so different from what is Tarkovsky, but I think that's how you understand how different equally good cinema can be, how complicated. In case of Tarkovsky, in ways of making, I don't know, like it looks like something impossible. Then you see Romer, which looks so simple as something given almost. But then you understand there is nothing simple about it, of course. But still, it shows you different ways of how beautiful cinema can be. I don't know, like Ken Loach is for me also one of the directors I love a lot, even though maybe it's not really visible in films I make. Maybe what is more visible is also Abbas Kiarostami or Akik Aurismiakit. I think maybe these two names are more to see as inspiration. Yeah, but it's a lot. It's a really hard question. Like if we say, like, if I mention Nanni Moretti, for example, it is also a big inspiration for me. And inspiration in the sense that when I saw his film Dear Diary, again, like completely new understanding of cinema somehow clicked when I saw, okay, this can be also film and this can be also cinema, and this is maybe the most beautiful thing I've seen. So I think it's, for me, very often inspiration means this, that somehow there are directors which show you how different films can be rather than you are used to.
That's very great. Now, there's also another question from our member here. It's called Tyrone. He's from Belgium, but sadly his microphone doesn't work. But he did say this. First of all, I really appreciate the film. I had the chance to see the movie in the forest. I want to know if there is any environmental intention you have chosen while making this movie. Like, for example, is there any trees that you recorded that were intentionally recorded or the making? And if yes, what were the reasons? Thank you.
No, the making of this film was very intuitional. And I mean that differently from films I've made before, with this one I tried to plan as less as possible, which means the beginning and ending of this film in city, it's scripted, but all the journey in between was not scripted. I had a script, but I didn't follow it. So we were more or less doing the same what the characters are doing, that we were driving around the country and asking about football fields, about where can we drink water or where can we sleep. So we would go the direction what the people will tell us. So everything what is there to see was not planned very carefully, but more a result of following sometimes what we were set, where we were set to go, or sometimes just the feeling, because sometimes you are on a way and there are two roads or three roads and you have to make a decision where to go. And sometimes it's very intuitional, like, because you don't always have a strong strong reason to do something. So you have to follow. Sometimes you're looking for little signs which maybe tell you, I don't know, like it's never a precise decision. And so because we worked like this, that we were following like more little signs and feelings, everything what is in the film is also a result of this.
Another one is one from Britain. His name is Harry. He said this. Thank you so much for the movie. I'm sort of interested in where it stands with any specific kind of cultural identity of Georgia. Like, is this a film that you would consider to be specifically Georgian, or is it more open-ended humanistic venture for you? And will you say that there are any specifically Georgian filmmakers or influences on the film?
It's hard to say. I think speaking about influences, there is a Georgian film tradition which is very important for me and which I try to somehow be part of. But generally, I think cinema is a big worldwide family. So I consider myself also kind of. I understand that every filmmaker is kind of related. So, and the names I mentioned, I feel related to them as well. So it's. I wouldn't say that I'm particularly more inspired by Georgian filmmakers rather than Iranian or Italian filmmakers. But still, if there are filmmakers with them you share somehow the way you live, the language also. Of course, there are some more crossings maybe, and in Georgia there are some filmmakers which are important for me. which is of course, like Otario Seliani is maybe the most important, also internationally Georgian filmmaker, and he's inspiration for everyone here. But people like Alexandre Rekhuyashvili or Eldar Shengelaya or Soso Chhaidze, who made a very important impact on filmmaking and life here in Georgia, are big influences. I don't know if this film is we can say that, okay, this is like a Georgian film. I don't know how to measure this, but still, I think if I consider myself a Georgian, which is also a question like, what does it mean? I think to make films here in Georgia is for me also a way of understanding that, like what is this country and what it means to be born here, to live here, and to be Georgian, because I have no answers, no precise answers about what is homeland and why we love it and so on. But still, I mean, it's made here. It's made in this language. It's made with the people who live here. It's made in this environment. So maybe that's how. And it's also made with some thoughts about also with the cinematic past of this place. But as we see here, like we are here talking so many people from different parts of the world, and that's what for me is so interesting, that things can be shared and not only understood in a particular place, but also internationally. That's a great feeling today. So thank you all for this.
Okay, since a lot of us, we notice that your film, it sort of resemble a specific painter. I think last time you ever had a discussion again with another interviewer, Mr. Minsu, I think, a Korean journalist, which I'm sure you already had talked with, about Paul Cézanne, I think. Now, Paul Cézanne, with how he opposes realism in their arts. Now, in your opinion, how would you define realism in your own cinematic perspective, especially through Dry Leaves, thematically?
Yeah, it's a big question. Like how to describe things and how to represent them, and because I don't know, like some time ago, like in my life, I learned that if you want to share something in an artistic way, as it is, like if I want to show you a chair through some medium, it has to be changed in a way that there are like no direct ways in art, I think. So to make the whole this realism and to transport what connects me with the chair and to somehow try to show it to you, I have to make some changes. Other way, you'll get other information, because this translation doesn't work in a direct way, which is also, again, we go, if we talk about filmmaking, to the problem of the cameras, which try to represent things in one-on-one, exactly as they are. So where we land in this impossibility of translating of ideas. So I think if the realism demands a lot of changes. So also, if we go to these painters you mentioned, they were not just painting things so differently than they are, but I think because they knew that to show what they feel and to show things they want to show, they have to find a way, because we know these guys, they were masters. I mean, Picasso, we know his paintings when he can paint in photographic precision, but then somehow he went to other forms, no, because he knew and he understood that he needs to find another forms to show things. It's not a photographic realism which shows the reality, but some ways around.
For the next question, it will be from our friend Mars. He's from Dubai, but since he's muted, I guess we could ask one of his friends to talk with it. Go ahead, Adris. Right.
Hi again. I want to talk about the invisible characters and the parallels that you have with, the plot starts with a photographer and they vanish. And on this journey, you have invisible characters throughout the film. And I want to know what are you trying to say with these invisible characters and how they work with what you're trying to say with the film of Dry Leaf. So,
Thank you. The idea of working with invisible characters came to me long ago. Also, when I started to study in Berlin, I think in 2008, and we were making like really the first exercise there, very little, just you have to shoot something in 2 hours or 3 hours, and I had to shoot a dialogue about, and there was a character which was like very, very, very scary
oh,
someone, not very clear who it was. So
okay.
I was thinking for the whole day, like, how can I shoot this scary someone in this very limited, because we don't have anything, we don't have costumes, nothing. Like, how can I make someone scary? And then I thought maybe this person has to be invisible. So when I started to film these empty spaces and also pan sometimes, like imitating that someone is walking the stairs or someone is walking through a street, and I'm just
Yeah.
panning with it. And it somehow it was fun, but then I completely forgot about this idea for a long time, and just remembering it a few years ago, and then I thought, wow, this is such a interesting thing to think about it, like how can we film and show people who are not visible. And it really gave me a lot of joy, let's say, of thinking about this challenge or this problem, like, because I always look for things I don't know. And this was definitely a thing like this when I thought, okay, I don't know how to do it. And I don't have also like precise examples of someone else, how they do it. So I have to invent for myself, like, and it became like really interesting thought. And that for me, that was how it started. Like, not because normally with most of ideas, I think it's for me doesn't start with an theoretical idea. It doesn't start that with an idea. I want to make something which represents this, and then I try to find a form for it. But rather that maybe I'm thinking about a form or about some visual element, and then somehow I try to connect it with the ideas I had before. And in this case, I had a feeling, because, as you mentioned, the film is about people disappearing.
Yeah.
Maybe this was also a good connection, and the rest I try to let it open. I work with it, and I give everything I have to this idea. But the rest I try to leave it in the for the spectator. And I think I'm very open to all kinds of interpretations.
Okay.
Because I think as soon as I describe what it means for me, I give a lot of limitations for anything else. And I really prefer to leave it open because I think it, for me, it's also, I start to think about what it can be or what it means when I see the film. Because while making it, I just make it,
Right.
especially with ideas like this. And on one hand, I'm very curious to hear how other people understand it, and also sometimes for me to reflect on it and to find some new ideas.
Wow. Thank you so much. I
All
appreciate it.
right, Mr. Koberidze, it feels like there's like 3 minutes left on our time. There are still some questions. I don't know if it's up to you, if you want to. Do you think that you would like to continue this questionnaire if you want to, sir?
Sure, we can do it. Maybe some 15, 20 minutes for another session. I'd have time. Yeah.
All right. So I guess we can probably make a new Zoom that probably will be the last session that we will talk about. But before that, before the Zoom ends, will it be okay? Wait, let me unpin myself. So we would like, if it's possible, for you to say BDDC is worldwide.
So to say what?
Here, let me message you, sir.
Better.
BDDC. Here you go.
So BDDC is worldwide.
Thank you so much. All right. I guess we will be making a new meeting. We will be ending our final session with this final one. See you on the new session. Thank you so much, sir. I'll send a new one. All right. Mr. Koberidze, since like we're waiting for everybody, they're still like coming here. This is like a personal question from me to you. Wait, actually I forgot. I nearly forgot to record. Wait, let's record this. All right.
Recording in progress.
This is like more so a personal question for me. Like this is like outside of filmmaking. Maybe it's correlated, but we see in Dry Leaf that you really have this sort of passion for football. So you know what? Let's talk about football a little bit. Since you're Georgian, and then like you guys are trying to qualify for the World Cup. Okay, one, who are your favorite Georgian football players? And two, outside of Georgia, is there any team or any players do you support? And three, Messi or Ronaldo?
Well, I started to watch football when I was maybe 9 or 10, and it started with Barcelona. I was 10, I guess, because it was the 1994 final of the Champions League. And everybody was talking about it because the Barcelona had like the strongest team with Johan Cruyff as the coach and this super dream team, and they were favorites. They were playing against Milan, and they lost like 4-0 in the final. It was a huge sensation. And everyone was kind of laughing about them, and that's where I kind of fell in love with this team because I don't know. I think maybe for a kid's heart, it's something strange that someone strong is losing, or I don't know. It's a strange emotion. But since then, I was a big fan of this team, and it was an interesting thing to follow ups and downs because many years it was a good team, then it was a really bad team, and later with Messi it was a good team again, and now it is really young and really beautiful team. So, and it somehow accompanies my life to watch this team and be with them. Well, I think the question is between Messi and Ronaldo doesn't exist anymore. I think everyone knows the answer. So,
yeah.
But about Georgian football, it's hard. Like growing up in that sense because Georgia was part of Soviet Union till 1991, and was taking part in this competition, and which was quite a strong one. But then when the Soviet Union collapsed, there was really big problem with the football. Until now, like, our league is very weak, and it's hard to follow. So kind of our football is finding its way through becoming again like a part of world football. Now we didn't qualify to World Cup, but last two years ago, last year we played the Euros and we played well, winning against Portugal, for example, and so on. So it's step by step. It's making a little steps, and I mean, now it's more joy than maybe 5-10 years ago. So hope is there that it will be
Right.
maybe even better in 10 years.
Okay, so there's also this sort of question, given out by our friend right here. He's from Philippines, so I guess we could go ahead and put him on right here. Go ahead, Hazi. The stage is yours. Oh, okay, so I guess I don't know if he could answer it, but he did leave me the question. He did say right here, at the end of the resolution is off screen or ambiguous. The journey has changed. The father and viewer more than concrete finding of the daughter. What do you think the film asks us to hold on to when the search ends? What remains and what is left behind? Thank you very much.
I don't know, but really, like, it's I've been making this film for maybe 4 years. If we start when the idea, with the idea, and it's a process. So things change all the time. In 4 years, even me, like, I'm a completely different human than I was when I started to make it. So there are no constant ideas. Like, if you have an idea in 2021, and if you just want to follow this very same idea in 2025, it's strange, because the world has changed, I have changed, everything has changed. So I try to follow these changes. So when the film has ended, it's an end of a process which is a surprise for me as well. So I really don't know. Like, I didn't see the film since I finished it. So for me, I think it will be another surprise maybe one day to see it and understand that, okay, this film has become this and this. I still don't have like to watch it, because the process that I was working on it is still too near. We finished in July, but I think at some point I will watch it and I will discover also myself what it has become.
Thank you very much, sir. Also, since we're kind of hopping off, we would like to know more about Georgia, your country. From your opinion, as Georgian, we sort of have something that we're taking the pride of, like, let's say culinary, right? Like, for example, our boy right here, Hazi from the Philippines, he's proud of his culinary, like such as pak, let's say, or like, let's say, a goat soup. And there's also people from Malaysia and so on and so on. In your opinion, if, let's say, we about to go to Georgia, what are the things that we shall try and what are the things that we should go on to?
Well, the good thing about visiting Georgia, if we speak about this, is that it's very small.
Mhm.
And it's very easy to be here, and it's I don't know, it has very different way to represent itself. Even though it's very small, all the parts of it are very different. So I think that's and all the different parts, different kinds of food, different kinds of people, different kinds of landscapes.
Mhm.
So it's like a little model of something very big, where you will experience very different stuff. but the changes are happening very fast. Like if you drive in 2-3 hours, everything will change every time.
Wow.
So,
Mhm.
also for our film, this was kind of inspiration to, and what it also made a little bit easy that you don't have to drive 10-15 hours to find something different, but in 2-3 hours you will have another world. And it's a big help when you're making a road movie and when you want different kinds of things.
Mhm. Right. Also, since we were talking about music earlier, we check trace back, and then we heard about like your brother is the one who made that, right? Now, the correlation between music and siblings, I guess that probably you both recommend each other music. But the thing is that I probably want to ask you, this is like outside of film sphere. What are some music that you really love? Like, are there any musicians that you admire that probably take part into the way that you film make? Or like what you usually listen to at your leisure time?
Well, I listen a lot to music, especially in when I write, on when I also like in the moments of editing, but also like I walk around in the city with headphones. I love listening to music on a bus or during rides and so on. Well, I don't drive, so I don't have that habit of listening music in the car. But also, when we were filming, we were listening a lot to music in the car when we were filming. My
Right.
playlist is very, 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 how to say, colorful in a way that it has all the kinds of things. Like there is no, I think there no genre or kind of music which is not there. Of course, there are things which I listen less and things which I listen more, but it's very diverse. I would say it's a complete mess. Let's say in the sense that it has all kinds of and I'm looking for it. I try to, if I like something, I try to ask what it is and then have it. So it would be really impossible for me to mention a genre or kind of music which I'm more into. It's been different. Like when I was a kid or a teenager, maybe I was listening more to rock kind of stuff. And then later I had like really long, like a Pink Floyd moment in my life. But later in my early 20s, it started really to change and becoming very diverse, I would say.
Wow, okay. Also, since we were talking about relatives, if we look at the end credit of the movie, we see that the main character right there, it has the same name as you, Mr. Koberidze. What would you say? What is the choice here? Is there any artistic choice, or is it like more so a budget? What's the reason behind using your family, your relative, as the main character of the movie here?
Yeah, yeah. Well, he's my father, and he
Oh.
already acted in my previous film.
Mhm.
It was a smaller part than here. But that's where I discovered that he somehow I think I wanted to have something from someone from this generation. And he was a good match, and he's someone who really likes to do it. And I had a feeling also like his body, how he walks, how he talks, is really something I was looking for. And I also knew that for this film I need someone who can dedicate himself completely, because it takes so much time and so much patience that maybe no one else rather than a close like father or brother or sister or mother can give you, or like maybe the closest friend. But it should be someone really, really close to say, okay, I go with you on this journey and I never ask questions.
Right. Okay. Also, if for all of us right here, we love your movie, right? Some of us, for me personally, this is my very first time I watch a film from you. For some, this is their second and most so. So since we are already captured by Dry Leaf, we expect, this question, what's next? What is there to come, especially for you, or let's say from Heretic? Is there anything that we should out from your career in the future?
Yeah, I'm working on the next film already for some time, which is also kind of music related. We mentioned music, and this film is inspired by an album by Pet Shop Boys, which is a British band. They still perform, but they were more like on a peak in, I would say, 90s. And in 90s they had this album called Bilingual, which I really loved back then. And since somehow it's not a film about this music or these songs or this band, but it's more like, I would say, more inspired by the mood, which and it's also strange because this music is if you listen to it, it has really, on one hand, very like a dance disco mood, but the more you listen, the more you understand it has also something very sad and kind of serious in it. And that's what I like about this music, that it really speaks two languages of happiness and sadness together. So
Wow.
so that's the plan, but it's a very different film than Dry Leaf, I would say.
Okay. That is such an amazing way to close this interview. There's probably some questions here and there, like asking you about experimental cinema, such as Dorsky or like Stan Brakhage. Before that, do you watch any of like these experimental circles, like let's say Dorsky? Would you say, sir?
I grew up with very classical films around me. And if I sometimes get in touch with experimental cinema, is because I have friends who are into it. And I try to see more and more, but I'm not someone who lives that world. Like also now, like I'm among like my friends, I'm not the one who would choose these things, but I'm very interested in it. I think for me, this is the world which is still to discover for me, and that's what friends are for. They show me the things and we watch it together, and it's I'm very curious about this kind of stuff because I think what we call experimental, I just don't like that name. I think these films which are just different than the what the industry calls cinema is have as much rights as all the other films to be just named cinema or films. And because they are different, it doesn't mean that they don't belong or something like this. So I think for me, this is not experimental cinema. This is ways of making films or how different films can be. So it's a huge inspiration, of course.
Right. Wow. From BDDC, them hearing this, they just told me recently, like, they would love to recommend you some movies such as Stan Rakage's Anticipation of the Night and also Storm Sogo Mix. So, we hope you enjoy those films too.
Please
And
write me
definitely.
the
I'll definitely write. I'll definitely write. I'll definitely write. And also, thank you so much. Hearing that you love Pet Shop Boys, I'm also a huge Pet Shop Boys fans too. We love it. I guess there's that sort of spiritual connect to the music too, of how they make the synth pop sound. But I guess we're about to close it now. So I hope one day we could probably meet each other in real life. Who might know you
I
want to
hope.
come to Asia, or probably come to America, which I think you did. Try some culinaries, talk about more our cultures and differences, music and football. But for now, thank you very much. And this is from BDDC towards Mr. Koberidze. I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much, Mr.
Guys, all the thanks are on my side. It's been amazing, and I think the films exist because people who love films exist. And guys, you uh, if you if you watch if you love films, it means a lot. And so I'm very happy today, and I hope let's stay in touch. Let's be friends. I'd be
Definitely.
happy.
All right.
Thanks so much.
So All right. Thank you very much, mister. I hope we see you another time. See you, guys.
Hope
And
to
this
see
is
you. Bye bye,
BDDC
guys.
signing out. Enjoy, guys. Bye.